So the moment that my narrative changed with my specific person was when I spoke my truth and said something that really clarified who I was and how I was demanding that he saw me, okay, and how I saw myself. And I've told this story so many times, so you might already know what it was that I said, but I'm going to say it again and give some reflections on this thing that I said and see how we can use this, how you can use this in your own life, and if you need to use this, okay? So before I get into this video, I'd like to let you know the 30 Days to Abundance challenge is happening for a third year in a row. If you would like to join this September, we're going to be doing daily challenges to get you into the state of abundance. It's always so fun and such positive vibes, really gets you into a really nice state every day for you to imagine, visualize, create the things that you want to create. I'm going to be asking you questions that I know help shift people into that abundant state. So if you'd like to join, it's only £35. You can find the link in the description below, or on my website, or on my link in bio on Instagram. You can find it. So the other thing is the retreat. There are 5 spaces left. I am honestly more and more excited every day. The conversations that me and Mo are having every day about this retreat are just really getting us into the mode of, wow, this is going to be an incredible 5 days. If you would like to change the patterns in your relationships, if you're sick of the same story, if you're going around in circle, if you're in transition in your life right now, it's the perfect time to do something for you. So if you would like any information about this, if you'd like a one-to-one call with me and Mo, if you're on the fence, we're going to help you get off the fence one way or another. We'd love to speak to you, so let us know. Right, so what did I say? What did I say to Johnny when we were in this dynamic of hot and cold, yes and no, not committed? Oh my God, it was getting boring and frustrating, and I was anxious, and it was horrible. And I'd been there for what felt like years. Okay, so if you're there, I deeply understand it. It's a horrible place to be, where you can't let go and you can't do anything because you just want to be with this person. And they're not changing, and you've read all the content, watched all the content, and you feel like you know it all, but nothing's still changing. So I really, really know. So, okay, you can't let go until you're ready to let go. You can't speak your truth until you feel safe enough to speak your truth. And sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it takes a bit of a slap in the face, basically, for you to be able to really say what you feel, for you to take your power back. And this is what happened with me. I was on the fence, like, you know, things were okay, but they weren't really okay because he wasn't committing to me. And we were talking every day, he was saying I love you, but we weren't committed. It was just such a blurry, strange situation where it was like, okay, well, I'm not going to commit to you then, and I can see other people if I want, which I didn't want. But I was saying, yeah, I can go and see other people if I want. And I guess you can too. I was kind of trying to make it okay, but it wasn't okay for me. And he was going away again, and I definitely didn't want to be in a long distance relationship, because historically that just hadn't worked for me. And that's me personally, by the way. Long distance relationships can work, but I didn't want to do that at that point in my life. So I didn't want to try to get him to commit to me when he was going away. But I also didn't like this strange thing of like us still speaking every day and not really knowing the full story of what was going on in each other's lives. So it was a bit of a blurry thing. And also I knew that he was only going there temporarily, and it was almost like we were on hold, and that just felt really bizarre to me. And I didn't like it, but I was going along with it. I was just playing the nice girl. And so one day I had seen, I don't know if you guys have heard this story, but this tiptoeing around it had not been working. And I don't want this to trigger anyone, okay, because I know that this can be triggering, but I'm going to tell you why it's not. You don't need to worry about this, because this will not happen for everyone, and it happened to me. But it guess what? We're together, and things are better now, and this is all in the past. So just don't worry. But what happened was, on Facebook, I had seen that he had posted a picture at Christmas of a Christmas cake. And being the anxious and absolutely determined to prove my story right that I was where I was in that time, I zoomed in on this reindeer nose and saw that the person who'd taken the picture was someone else. So he was obviously with someone else having a Christmas cake in his apartment. And I didn't know about this person. So I was like, no, that's the end. Right. I am not this person anymore. Goodbye, old story. It was a brilliant blessing in disguise. This is why you don't need to worry about this. I know lots of you might feel really triggered. I want to give you a massive hug. It's okay. This probably won't happen to you, but I'm telling you my point. My limit, my capacity was absolutely full at this point. So what happened was I just decided in that moment I'm not this person anymore. I'm not going to be second best. I'm not going to be an idea. I'm not going to be a maybe. I'm not going to be in the future. I'm not going to be that anymore. And so the next day I rang him up and I said, we cannot do this anymore. I cannot be this person that I've been being for you. I don't see you as an option. I don't see you as someone that I might be with one day. I see you as my partner, and if you don't see me like that, I don't want to talk to you at all. And I meant it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm doing this because maybe he'll come back. It was like I was done. And let me just say, if you're not done, you can't say things like this, because you end up disrespecting yourself. So don't worry if you can't say something like this, because you're not there yet. You're not ready to say something like this. But this was the point where I was over the story. I just, one thing too far had pushed me over the edge for me to go, I'm not doing this anymore. But it was the best thing. It was an absolute blessing in disguise. That's why you don't need to be scared of these things, because they teach you something. And if you're scared of it, then there's something for you to learn. So basically, I said, I am not that person. I don't want to undervalue our relationship anymore. I don't want to undervalue myself anymore. I don't want to undervalue the way I feel about you. It's not something we can delay. It's not something I can delay, and I'm not going to. So if you don't want to be with me now and commit to me now, that's fine, but we can't speak anymore, because if I speak to you in this context, I'm less than what I want to be to you, and that's not going to happen anymore. So it was like, end of story. And he was like, oh, but I want to speak to you. I still want to speak to you. I was like, no, hell no. I don't want to speak to you, especially if you're seeing someone else. I don't care who she is or what's going to happen. In my head, I knew it was temporary. So it was a bit of a shock, but oh well, it's a temporary thing. I'm not going to learn some lessons with her, go and make some mistakes with her. That's fine. I am not interested in you being with seeing anyone else, no matter how unserious it might be. I'm going to be a priority. So it was like a strong no. And was I afraid that he would never come back? Yeah, I was. But was I prioritizing myself over that? Yes. And that was easy, because I was at that point where I needed to and I wanted to prioritize myself, right? So it was powerful and it felt amazing. And he said, but I love you. And I said, lots of people love me. Lots of people love me, and they show up for me more than you are. So join them. Show up for me. Show me you love me. I'm not interested in words. I don't care. Honestly, I was this done with it. And I was this direct about it. And it felt amazing to say it, right? So I'd got to that point, and you may or may not be at that point. But I was just like, you can do what you want. Go and see her if you want to, it's fine. If you're with her, you're not with me, and you're not confusing me like this anymore. I don't want that. So basically, it happened because it happened when it was supposed to happen. That came through me. It was like, I couldn't have planned to say that. I couldn't have sat there and thought about it. It was like I had to. It wasn't a question, should I or shouldn't I? It was like, yes, this is what we're doing now. It was like an inspired action thing, the right thing to do in that moment, and it changed everything. So after that, did I go into a bit of a panic? Have I done the right thing? Yes, momentarily, of course. But then I knew, and I kept referring back to my new standard, my new normal, my new expectation, and I just trusted. And, you know, did I let go? No, not really. I didn't really let go because I still wanted it to work. And so was I ready to do that? I was ready to do it because I knew I had to, but was I ready to let go? No, and I didn't for ages and ages and ages. And maybe I never did let go, you know, but the thing is, I let go of that story. I fully let go of it. I was done with it. I let go of that narrative. I thought, I'm not being that. I'm not being her anymore. No way. And it was the most powerful thing that I've ever done. And it felt really good. And basically, yeah, it meant that I knew that if he was to come back, I knew what I was looking for. I knew what I was expecting. I knew who I was. And so it had to be different. And that's honestly, I believe, why he committed, why we committed, why I committed, because I knew what I was looking for. I knew that it had to be like we were going to be together or we weren't, you know, there was no in between. And that's what happened. And saying that, like I've said many times before, I was really confident, and then we got together, and then I was like, oh, here's all my stuff. Actually, here's all my stuff. Right, okay, I've still got loads to work through, you know, that came through our relationship and still does sometimes, honestly. Am I through it? No, I still work through stuff. I still have triggers. He still is my biggest mirror, you know. So it's not like I know it all, you know. I'm still working through my own story, but yeah, it was a very big moment, power moment of I choose myself, you know. And then I got the reflection of, well, we're together now, and that's just, it had to happen that way. It happened. I think sometimes we get these moments through a massive hell no in our life, and I did, you know. So that's what I said. So I wonder where you're at in your journey. You know, are you getting to that point where you're getting to this does not work for me, this dynamic. I want something else. I don't want to be this girl anymore who's accepted this. And are you afraid to say that? Are you afraid to say, this can't be like this anymore? Because if you are, that makes sense. It's come from your childhood. We're going to do loads of anger releasing and completing the hell no's that we didn't get to complete in our childhood on the retreat, which is so fun. I've got some boxing gloves. We're going to do some really somatic movements to release this story, this narrative, this inability to say no, this inability to speak our truth, this fear of being disliked or being rejected. It's all stored there in our bodies, and we've got to let it out with a massive effing roar, right? So I'm very excited about doing that with you. If you'd like to come on the retreat, please let me know. There's still 5 spaces left. I've also got the Conscious Creators Academy starting in October as well. So if you'd like to come to that, please let me know. I'd love to see you there. And thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.